How are you? Long time no speak. Hope you're good. Hope you're having a good weekend. Please subscribe if you haven't already. The numbers are doing very well, so thank you. And I actually plan to have Rusha here with me today, but she's gone on a wee evening out, which is nice. And forgive me if you can hear my kids in bed singing just now. They have been pretty testing this afternoon. But like I say, please subscribe, thank you, give us a like, get in the comments, you can let me know your thoughts on everything I want to speak about now, because it feels like it's been a while. And actually, before I go any further, I want to just take a moment to pay my respects to Maddie Cusack of Sheffield United, who's tragically passed away at the age of 27 years young. It just stopped everybody, didn't it? The women's football community stopped when that news broke a couple of days ago. I can only imagine the pain that our family and our friends and our teammates and our loved ones are feeling, and it's tragic because it's such a small community and everybody has the nicest and kindest things to say about Maddie, and it's just very sad, very, very sad. So thoughts with her friends and family, and may she rest in peace. A very sad loss to women's football and to the earth as well, so it's very sad, and hope you're doing okay as well, whatever it is you've been up to this week and this weekend. I'm sure that was a big bit of news that just took you back as much as it did myself. A few things I want to talk to you about today in this chat, because, well, we want to focus on Ireland's result at the Aviva this afternoon. My husband's there just now. I was meant to be in Marbella this weekend, and I've been sick all week, so I thought, I'll just have to give it a miss this weekend. I've had a viral infection. I'd like to point out I've not had fillers. Look at the size of these beauts. And I got like cuts on the inside, and they were like all blistered and yuck, and it's like I've got a new set of lips. I'd like to point out I haven't. I would tell you I've had Botox. I don't at the minute, I need it, but I've had Botox, I've never had fillers. And when I went to the doctor twice, they were just looking at me as if, clearly you've had work done, love. I've not. Anyway, they're healing up fine, but I'm struggling to talk like a normal person. They're really like juicy. It's like I've got new lips. I'm struggling to like laugh without going anyway, on that note, I'm going to have a glass of wine tonight because it's been long overdue after a week of being on my back. And not on my back in a good way. Anyway, hope we're good. Let's talk about England against Scotland as well quickly, because I think Scotland just were brilliant. I thought they were really good. They deserved a point out of that game last night. Don't get me wrong, England are excellent at that level above. Watching the full game, it was end to end. A decent first half full of drama and twists and turns where all the goals took place as well. I think Kirsty Hansen for Scotland and for Aston Villa, she looks fit, she looks at it, she was enjoying herself, she was hungry, she brought the passion, the rivalry, because you've got to just flash back to a few weeks ago when Scotland played England as well at Hampden in the men's football, the rivalry that comes with the game. It doesn't really seem to transpire as much in women's football, but knowing the players that I know, I definitely know that rivalry is still there, and I think Kirsty Hansen really brought that to the game as well. And she had an excellent performance, player of the match by my books, that's for sure. Definitely was a penalty. It was a penalty. Millie Bright's foul on the Scotland striker. It was a penalty all day. And listening back to the commentary as well, I'm like, how is there not enough contact on that? It was like a bus going through the back of you. It was so full on. And I think that's the thing with my work at the moment in TalkSport. The debate's always about the referee. It's always about VAR. It's always about, added time, or how is it not a penalty, and who was robbed this week. And I feel Scotland were robbed in that moment. Also the offside goal as well. I feel it was offside. That can be debated as well. Feel free to get in the comments and add your thoughts on that. But either way, it was a good game. It's going to be a tricky group. They've got the Netherlands in there as well. And I think Scotland are coming at it. I like Pedro Lopez when he was at Arsenal a long time ago. I wasn't really aware, but I think he's doing well at Scotland. And now that they've sorted out some of the things, instead of going to court, they sorted it out with the Scottish FA. Hopefully the women can just go that step further as well and start to now aim to qualify for another major, because it feels like it's been quite some time. And of course the Ireland-Scotland game at Hampden for the World Cup qualifier when Ireland qualified, that game that night, I feel there was a lot of expectation on Scotland to get the job done, but they're also missing a few key factors as well when it comes to just being the professional environment. And I've spoken to a number of unnamed players who have struggled with their frustration for that for so long, just not getting the level of expectation and basic requirements needed. So hopefully Scotland get that now moving forward, and they're going to see a change in their game and a change in the expectations for them as well. They deserve that. And Ireland as well, let's just talk quickly about, Rachel Daly's an outstanding player, isn't she? She's such a good striker. Her in the air is just, she's sensational, absolutely sensational. A solid performance again from England. I think Scotland did deserve the point. And yeah, overall a good turnout as well in Sunderland. It looked good last night. Watched that last night, and then today, like I say, I was meant to be in Marbella, so I was like, oh, I'll send my husband to Dublin, and then it means he's not missing out on me being away one weekend. I'll send him away on the same weekend. Got childcare sorted. Anyway, here we are, and I'm crying about it. But he was at the Aviva, 36,000, just under 36,000 for the Ireland's first game at the Aviva, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, how is that just the first time? And I know it's something we can celebrate and it should be celebrated, and they've made history, but that should have been long before now, a long time before now. For whatever the reasons, that hasn't been. And since qualifying for the World Cup, you know, not even to have their send-off game at the Aviva, which a lot of players and staff are happy with, because Tala's home. Tala has been home for Ireland women for so many years. But the fact that it's now today, I was a bit like, it feels like that's still so far behind. And that's one of the things I wanted to speak about, was the fact that the game has grown at such a fast pace, and the experience of the players in that Ireland squad. There's a really experienced squad in there. We've spoken about this umpteen times, that Diane Caldwell's comments before the game about Vera Pauw, who's now no longer in charge of Ireland, who took them to the World Cup, was seen as this most disrespectful thing to say. A lot of people thinking she should have just left it in the past, but I actually wanted to take this opportunity to almost defend Diane and say fair play to you, because there was a lot of criticism. I work for the media, I work for the press. I was in those press conferences for the World Cup when there was this hostile environment, and the press knew there was something with Vera. They knew that the contract negotiations were going on. They knew that there was some sort of disagreement going on between the FAI and Vera, or Vera and the players. We saw obviously the very last press conference to do with Katie McCabe had been apparently looking for a sub to come on, and then Vera said because Katie asked doesn't mean Katie gets, and it all kind of kicked off then. It made it feel like there was very much so a player against a manager movement there, but we never heard from any player, and that was frustrating. That's frustrating when you're sitting in that press conference and you think, well what is the problem? And there's a hell of a lot of respect for Vera Pauw. I like her, but in those press conferences it was just like defence mode all the time. It's like, you enjoying the tournament? Defence mode. Like, you know, it wasn't as fun as I thought it would be, those press conferences, especially because it's Ireland and it was their first time, and you know, there's just always the Irish charm. I know she's not Irish, but it was always very defensive, and I actually think Diane Caldwell offered up what we had all been thinking or all been wondering. And obviously, you know, I'm close to it through Rusha, and she would never say a word. You know, if she was asked up to do press, I'm sure she would speak truthfully, but everybody's in the same boat. And now that Vera's tenure is over, Diane was asked, and Diane said, and people say that's a lack of respect, but she did respect the manager. She followed the manager's suit the whole way through. But Diane's a player of experience who's been around for a long time, who wants a certain level of expectation from a manager. It's okay to say that. The manager would have said that to her, you know, and that's just my way of looking at it. You don't have to agree, but I think the heat that Diane Caldwell got for that was really unfair, considering she was A, asked the question, and B, the press were onto it for some time. We've had umpteen press conferences with the likes of Katie McCabe, the captain, who hasn't given an explanation like that, whether that's just Diane's thoughts or the team thoughts, but we got a little bit of closure as to maybe where things went wrong between Vera and the FAI. That's just my thoughts. And fair play to Ireland, because Eileen Gleeson, who's been around Ireland for quite some time. Actually, when I was at the World Cup, I said to Russia on the last night, I was like, I know that lady. How do I know that lady? And Rusha's like, Ilo? Like, she's been here for so many years. Like, we've known her for years and years. So at one point she managed when Rusha had gone in, and I would have been at the games and seen her and just been like this, and now she's back in charge. It's quite incredible. Emma Byrne, of course, in there as well. Ireland's former captain, Arsenal goalkeeper, won the quadruple, and she's a very experienced player. And I think this is exactly what the FAI have gotten right now. You've brought in a player, a former player who knows what's needed, who relates to the players, to bring in an experienced coach who's been around for quite some time as well. Collins, second name slips my mind, he's the goalkeeper coach, him as well as part of that staff. And the performance today, I think, reflected a really strong side, and a side that are coming on leaps and bounds. Ireland 3, Northern Ireland 0. A solid performance from Lucy Quinn. Rush and I watched the game together, and we were so buzzing for her because she's such a funny stand-up egg. And our parents were there, and it was just a really proud moment for her. You could tell she loved it. Kira Caruso got the second goal as well. She was there and thereabouts and threatening the whole game. And also Lily Agg, my G. Ruth Agg, who's Lily's mum, and I spent a lot of time together at the World Cup in Brisbane. So I thought tonight when I poured my rosé, I was like, oh, Ruth will be having a rosé as well, because we're rosy gals together. So congrats to Lily. Well done her. And to Ruth. This one's for you. That's bad luck if I don't drink, isn't it? Oh, my lips are stinging like a mother. Also, Tyler Toland, Caitlin Hayes back into the squad. I didn't really know the Tyler Toland story, and Risha kind of updated me on the details today. I think she got player of the match. I thought it was going to be Lucy Quinn, but it went to Tyler Toland. Actually, was in Risha's what would have been Risha's position had she been fit. I'm sad that she wasn't there today. Must have been hard sitting watching it, just belting out at the anthem at home, but sad that she wasn't there. But you know, to see players like Tyler coming in, because she was omitted through Vera, and apparently it was a public fallout. I'm not going to say too much because I don't actually know what's out there or not, but you know, that's another example of like maybe the leadership that was going on. You know, it was kind of this way or the highway. And Tyler back into the squad. Caitlin Hayes as well, I've been watching for quite some time up in Scotland, for Celtic as well. She looks like a strong player, and she's going to add a lot to the squad as well. So exciting for Ireland moving forward. And actually the WSL returns on Saturday, and then it's 2 weeks and then the international break again for more Nations League. So all to look forward to. I think Ireland are a very exciting prospect at this moment in time. I hope we can be following them more and more to another major. I want Scotland there as well, because that's a strong, star-studded quality team, and they deserve to kind of move again on to that next level. England, solid as usual. But yeah, all kind of my thoughts being laid out just now. You can get in the comments, let me know your thoughts on everything, and a vlog coming your way at the Emirates for Arsenal Liverpool, because I'm working for Arsenal that day, so I'm going to vlog my ass off that day. But anyway, I hope you're well. Have a good weekend. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave me a